Hi, everyone. My special guest today is another former student of mine, George Young. He first took my Principles of Accounting 2 class at Santa Monica College. Then he transferred to Cal State Northridge to major in accounting. During college, he interned for the Big Four accounting firm, Ernst & Young. He also received an accounting scholarship from them as well. Thus, when he graduated, even though he received multiple offers from the other accounting firms, he accepted a full-time tax position with EY in their LA office. Fast forward to today, George is now working at Deloitte, the largest accounting firm in the world, in their San Francisco office. Like many of my former students, George always makes time to come back to speak to my students at Santa Monica College to encourage them to study accounting. So I'm really happy that he's now doing a video with me.
Thank you for having me, Professor Liu.
All right. So the first question, George, I have for you is, unlike most students, you actually had a really interesting journey becoming an accountant. I recall you told me before you initially received a full ride scholarship to play football at a university in Texas. However, some unfortunate things happened and you dropped out. Can you tell my viewers what exactly happened?
Yeah, so as you mentioned, I did receive a full ride scholarship to play football at a smaller university in Texas. And I went there for one summer where I unfortunately tore my ACL over our summer training camp. And I did have the opportunity to continue to attend the school academically. However, I didn't really have an academic mindset at that point in time. It was almost like I was there to play football and everything else was secondary. So when I was no longer able to play, I just made the decision to move back to Los Angeles.
Okay, got it. So once you returned to Los Angeles, you started attending Santa Monica College. However, things didn't go smoothly right away. I recall you told me before the first time you took Accounting 1, the class before Accounting 2, you actually got dropped by another professor. Also, I think you initially didn't have good study habits. You weren't consistently doing your homework. And then later your car broke down and you had to take several buses to get to school and work. Basically, just a lot of just crap, right? A lot of unfortunate things happened. Could you share some of the struggles that you had when you were in college and perhaps some tips that helped you overcome this adversity?
Yeah, so one of the bigger issues that I had initially when I returned to college after taking the break from Texas was that I really struggled to prioritize things. So just to speak to being dropped from my first accounting class, what happened was I missed 3 classes consecutively because I wanted to pick up extra shifts at work to make money. And when I returned to class after missing 3 consecutive classes, the professor let me know that she dropped me from the class and she asked me to meet her at her office hours so she could explain to me why I'd been dropped. In which we met, we had a conversation and she explained to me that if I really wanted her to, she'd take me back into the class. But she explained to me that I missed so much fundamental information that I would struggle for the rest of the semester and it would be in my best interest to just return next semester. And that was kind of a wake-up call for me, because at that point in time, I didn't understand that I had to make a very serious decision about prioritizing college over, the part-time job that I was working at that point in time that really didn't have a huge impact on my future. So I ended up not taking accounting that semester. I worked out an arrangement at work so that I could prioritize school and still be able to support myself somewhat. And then moving forward with school as a priority, I was able to develop better study habits because I wasn't juggling so much. And as far as, the transportation issues and things like that, it seemed like almost every semester there was something coming up that was proving to be a distraction from school. But once I was able to shift my mindset and really prioritize school, it seemed like every time something came up, I was able to find some sort of solution because I became really willing to make sacrifices in every area of my life outside of school. And that was really how I found myself able to navigate a lot of those things that I experienced.
Yeah, that's great. I believe that's how you're able to do well in my Accounting 2 class. So thanks for sharing that.
No problem.
Moving along, I wanted to ask some other questions, and I have 2 that are kind of related. about accounting. So first, what got you interested in studying accounting? And secondly, what do you enjoy most about working in the accounting profession today?
What initially got me interested in studying accounting was it was the first day of class in my accounting one course, the second time I took it. So, not that first time when I was dropped, but the second time I took it, it was with Professor Nault. And he just started reading his resume to us on the first day of school. And I just remember being so shocked that accountants did all of these things that Professor Nault was explaining to us that accountants did. Prior to that, I didn't really have any understanding of what accountants did. So listening to him, speak very highly of all these opportunities that were afforded to him through the accounting profession just kind of opened my eyes to it. And what really sealed the deal was that following year when I took your accounting 2 class, and you were able to introduce me to Big Four recruiters, and you introduced me to another student of yours, David, who was able to speak to me directly about some of the experience that he was having in accounting. And I think the combination of those 2 classes and all the experiences that I had during those semesters probably cemented the decision that I was making to pursue accounting.
Great. I'm glad you're now down this route. The next thing I wanted to ask you is, as you know, you and I have had many conversations in the past about getting more African-American students aware of the wonderful opportunities available in the accounting profession. As you know, since I typically only get 1 to 3 African-American students per class, I've made an effort to always do more outreach. I always speak to students at Black collegians. I also started a mentoring program, which you were part of, right? And also I organized a big conference each year at Santa Monica College called the Accounting Diversity Conference. The goal of the conference is to encourage and empower more students, particularly underrepresented minority students, to consider a career in accounting. To me, the biggest challenge is to get students to take an accounting class first. Most African-American students I talk to are only looking at the social science and humanities classes. Could you share with my viewers who may be African-American why they should consider looking into accounting?
Yeah, I would encourage them to look into accounting because similarly to me, they may not have a holistic understanding of what opportunities exist within the accounting space. And I do think that for the majority of people who do want to work in, a corporate setting, accounting has something to offer you. There are a number of different disciplines that exist within accounting. If you look at a Big Four firm, you will see that there are a number of different sectors that exist within that firm and a ton of different opportunities and things that you can do. And just that basic accounting degree is really a key to unlock all of those opportunities. There are limitless directions that you can go in with an accounting degree, and it is as close to unemployment proof as possible. There's so much demand, and there isn't a huge supply of people with the certifications that you need to fulfill a lot of these roles. So, and those 2 things combined are the reason why I would encourage someone to pursue accounting.
All right, last question. I know a lot of my students would love to be in your current position and work at a top accounting firm like Deloitte. So what advice can you give them on things that they should do while they're still in college? Maybe just give them 3 of your top tips.
So the first tip that I would give is to make your academic success a priority and surround yourself with students that are also doing the same thing. When I was in college, another one of your mentees, O'Shea, was someone that I could always count on to hold me accountable when it came to studying, and I would always do the same for her. And just building friendships and relationships like that, they make it just that much easier to stay focused in school because you have friends that encourage you to come study at the library as opposed to going out and partying. The second thing that I would recommend would be to get involved on campus, be that the accounting fraternity or different accounting clubs or even business clubs that they have on campus. Networking is a really important skill to develop. And I think that it's a pretty safe environment to practice in when you're doing networking through different clubs on campus. The last thing that I would recommend is to attend as many of the professional events on campus as possible. When I was going through the recruiting process, I made it a point to become very familiar with the campus recruiters for the firms that I was interested in. And I showed up to as many professional events as possible so that I could meet the professionals. I could have conversations with them about their experiences. And that really helps me make a decision about the firms that I wanted to apply for internships with. So I would strongly encourage anyone that is considering an accounting internship to attend those events.
Well, George, I really appreciate you coming to do this video today. You shared a lot of helpful advice. I hope more of my viewers will be inspired to consider a career in accounting. It was an absolute pleasure being your professor. I'm glad we still continue to stay in touch even today. So take care.
Thank you, Professor Lou.